to go?
Yeah, Con.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakakwadash, double honor to our apostles and elders of great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect, pushing the true doctrine across the four winds of earth and all truth therein is sincerity. Hey, we're the Mississippi camp once again, coming out on the highways and byways, prophesying the downfall of America, you know, proclaiming the name of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, and speaking on the return of Yahushua, you know what I'm saying, to take down this wicked kingdom, which is Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, aka America, man. And you can see the times we're living in, man. Prophecy is speaking loud and clear. You know, if you don't understand what's going on, you can't see what's going on, hey, you need to ask the Lord to open up your eyes, man. Because the door of repentance is still open, man. The door of mercy is still open, but it's it's quickly closing, man. You know, all the things that are going on, man. Uprising of the people, you know, you got all these different little small wars going on, all the friction going on between, you know, America and other countries, all the friction going on with the people, you know, all the division going on between,
that disarray.
Yeah, the disarray, man. All this division because of what people believe in, what they don't believe in, who gonna get hit up, who not gonna get hit up, you know, people having to make a choice to get hit or to work. You know, all these things are brewing up, man, where it's going to come to a point where people going to start, you know what I'm saying, just spazzing out. You know? Come on with this point.
2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand there is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Come, man, and everything is happening. You know, it's been written. And the Lord has got us out on the highways and byways, warning the people of these things that's going on, man. Because these are signs that Yahweh is visiting the earth, man. You know, it's not at that point where Yahweh is finna come back physically himself, man. But there are signs and wonders that are happening, man. And one of the biggest signs is the prophets out on the highways and byways, man. Preaching and teaching, man, warning the people, blowing the trumpet. You know, this is the sign that Yahweh is getting ready to come back, man, because what does it say? Before the fall of every great kingdom, the Lord sent forth his prophets, man.
That's the best way.
Come.
2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 32. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before, and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending.
And what do we see coming to pass? As I said a minute ago, man, uproars of the people. You know what I'm saying? You see these things, all the friction, all these things that are happening that you're seeing, man. Earthquakes, all these crazy storms, you know, division. You know, we're like a broken record, man. Because rumors of wars, you know, like I say, you got small wars going on. It's a lot of things going on behind closed doors that's going on, but through the spirit and according to scripture, we know these things are happening, man. We know that they have a crafty counsel, man. We know they discuss things among themselves, but the primary objective is to destroy you Israelites, man.
Yeah, this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privily, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of your coming and the end of the world?
Right, and again, that's what we're doing. Wars and rumors of wars, uprising of the people, you know, all these different things that are going on, man. All the division that's going on. You know, even these mandates going on, because they cause division. They cause confusion. You know what I'm saying? So all these things that's coming about is proving that we're in the latter end, man. And Yahweh Shai is on his way back, man.
Yeah, you got the people with the mask that unmasked, anti-mask, and people for the mask. They arguing, they fighting. So man, you can see it. You see the division over this 19. Basically, this is what it is. It's basically over the 19. That's right.
Then you got all, then you got all these different platforms, and people are becoming lovers of themselves, man. When you look at things like TikTok, man, these are people, for the most part, man, who become lovers of themselves, especially when it comes to these women, man. They idolize themselves, man. This is what makes them feel good. This makes them feel like they're somebody, and they what call themselves queens, man. You know, when at the end of the day, it's causing these women to lose their order, man. You know what I'm saying? They are not being in their respective order. They're lost. They're promoting prostitution, basically, man. You know, these are not the ways of the Lord, man. A woman, especially when it comes to Israelites, when you're supposed to conduct yourselves in a manner, man, that's respectable. You know, you don't supposed to just be flaunting yourself out there like that, man. And then you don't supposed to be disrespecting your man, man. There's an order of things. You know, you have your Hawashai, you have men, then you have the woman, man. But in this kingdom, women have surpassed the man.
And this is Titus 2:1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Verse 3. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as become holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things. Verse 4.
Yeah, you sound doctrine is, you know, the true understanding of this word, man.
Yeah.
You know, so we've been taught in this society by adhering to the fashion of this world. And that's what departed us truly from Yahweh. That's why these women of ours are out of order. That's why they have that mentality, do as thou wilt, man. Because you got that serpent and lead in the rulership of power right now, man.
And I'll read it according to the NIV. Likewise, teach the older women to be reverent in the way they live, not to be slanderers or addicted to much wine, but to teach what is good.
And that's a cut to that girls' nights out.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So all that's nothing but really folly is going to lead to adultery.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
And then, you know, a lot of these, I think the scripture goes into how, you know, I know it's in the Apocrypha, women are supposed to be out. All together, somebody will get this.
Hey, I'm saying too, though, you know, when they go to city Vegas, what they say, stays in Vegas. And, you know, bunch of bitches go to Vegas, you know them hoes gonna do some shit down what we doing.
Miami.
Yeah.
Miami.
Going to these little islands like Jamaica or something, you know? Hey, they showed on that movie Stella Got a Groove Back. You know what I'm saying? He going on there, you know, messing with those little island boys.
Yeah. And verse 4, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children.
So it's backwards now in this society because they tell the younger women, you know what I'm saying, test the field.
Yeah.
You know, go to college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then right there, you put your career first before trying to have a family, trying to have a man first. You know what I'm
Get your
saying?
body count up. You know?
Not fucking natural.
Right. Verse 5, to be discreet, chaste.
Hey, I look up that word. Discreet means self-control.
Hey, NIV version, to be self-controlled and pure.
Right.
Keepers at home.
Yeah.
Good, obedient.
And if I could just interject, hey, and if a woman goes, you want to go to a movie, go to a movie. You know, if you want to go get you something to eat, you can do that. You know, that's the balance.
Yeah.
But as far as promoting whoredom,
Right.
you know, you know,
Right.
to say that you know to bring it
I
balance.
mean, yeah, bring the thing. Good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed.
All right, Sirach 26 and
One.
20.
Just run it all the way down. That's it.
Yeah, I know, right?
How the apostles, when they be out in the highways by way, they started from the breakdown,
Yeah.
the verse, you know, the first verse.
Yep.
We can read Sirach 26 all the way down.
Do you want to do that, brother? You want to go to the point?
Yeah, let's get in that old Yashima spirit.
All right. Hey, shalom to you, brother. I'll see y'all. Hey, Sirach 26:1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be doubled. A virtuous woman rejoiceth in her husband, and he shall be fulfilled the years of his life in peace.
And how can his days be doubled? And because she is his pillar of rest. When something is your pillar of rest, it gives you succor, it gives you nourishment, it gives you peace.
Yep.
Support.
It gives you support. And a pleasant life brings forth a smile upon a man's face. A pleasant life brings forth many years of great abundance, man.
And then when you look up that term virtue, it goes into the word moral excellence. And where does this moral excellence come from? The scriptures, man.
And the women y'all been speaking about are morally corrupt.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Sirach 26:3. A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord.
Yeah, if you find one, it's good. You know, if you can find one, but that good woman has to be sent by Yahweh Shem Shah. And just because you end up with a wicked woman, it doesn't make you wicked. It's just been to cause you death. Because you got to understand something, such as we and these women, we all have been westernized. But the only difference is that us men come out of it first through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah.
The scripture also say that a wicked wife is given to a wicked man.
Yeah.
Now, if she's your ex, she's your past.
Yeah.
You may very well be of the Most High's righteous.
Hey, get that Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter. He'll set up a situation where you can escape.
All right, Sirach 26:4. Whether a man be rich or poor, if he have a good heart toward the Lord, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful
And
countenance.
that's what it's all about. You know, whether you be rich or poor. You know, because at the end of the day, being in this truth is a blessing. That good countenance is going into your facial expression. So you're supposed to be happy just because you know the word of Yahweh Shem Shah. You know?
Sirach 20.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Elder Z, you probably like this. I came across this same stoic video we normally watch. But the guy made a good point. He stated that, you know, once your life is simple, you can begin to concentrate fully on what's most important.
Your purpose.
Your purpose. You know?
Yep, I love it. Sirach 26:5. There be three things that my heart feareth, and for the fourth I was so afraid: the slander of a city, the gathering together of an unruly multitude, and a false accusation. All these are worse than death. Verse 6. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman.
Right, and when you come into this truth, all right, you know anything about being in this truth for a little while, your fleshly woman becomes jealous of this spiritual woman. Right? You know, that's why it's so important to understand that this truth is likened to a woman. All right, your woman will actually get mad because you're fellowshipping with the bros or teaching the word of the Most High. Go ahead.
And a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro, and he that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. A drunken woman.
So what happens when you get a hold to a scorpion? It stings. It stings. Go ahead.
Just a quick point. Vlad was interviewing Kareem Steffens, Superhead,
Yes, Superhead.
and he basically described her in her own interview. She was like, basically he used the analogy of a scorpion. He was like, if he was breaking down an analogy, you know, you saw a scorpion, it was almost dead, you rescued it, you brought it back to life, and then it stung you. Then he said, why'd you do it? He was like, well, because I'm a scorpion. And he was using that in reference to Kareem Steffens. And I'm like, because she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
But like the scripture, it goes into a woman being wet. It says, I read that again, Sirach 26:7. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion.
Right. And the scorpion, go ahead.
Now I'm just saying, like what Elder Z said, Brittany Renner, she just had a recent interview pretty much stating the same thing. Like PJ Washington pretty much knew what he was getting himself involved in.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? She got that high count Instagram, page or whatever, all that traffic, so they know her background. But he still, she said, I didn't make him, you know what I'm saying, when she said, Nick, you know what I'm saying, Emmy, you know what I'm saying? So he knew exactly what he was getting himself into, man. That's her true nature. It's like a true nature as a scorpion, it's a sting. A true nature as a wicked woman, it's to cause mischief.
And there's always signals in the wild, all right, that signal to you the nature of a person. Like in the wild, there's always a signal that this animal is toxic. Those loud flamboyant colors. Now, what's the nature of an American woman? She has those tight clothing, loud flamboyant colors. Her stripes were her pictures on Instagram.
If I can say this, it's always a motive, man. You know what I'm saying? For a woman, she has a motive and the man has a motive. He wants to fuck a bad bitch.
Yep.
And she wants to capitalize off of his finances, man. You know, but the question is, who's gonna really come out on top at the end, man?
All right, Sirach 26:8. A drunken woman and a gatter of bride causes great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. And it said a gatter of bride. That just hit me. Because women, what do? They travel to different countries. There's the movie called Girls Trip or something like that. And the whole thing is going to Jamaica. We was talking about this the other day. Going to certain parts of Africa.
They go in groups too.
They go in groups. So that's traveling abroad, because how do you travel abroad? By way of a plane.
That's right. You got something like that.
Yep.
You got something like that happen recent here at a nightclub freelance some years ago. few women, you know, drunk, intoxicated, or whatever, leaving out the club. I guess one of them probably walking by herself, and she got raped to death, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that shows you that the Most High, He's not with that spirit.
Nope. Sirach 26 and 9. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids.
All that makeup and all that mascara.
Hey, and those filters today, you know,
Those filters, right?
and
Not to
basically,
mention now you got these women, they're getting those the eyelashes, and they look like a damn fox and shit.
hey, you know, somebody put it on TikTok that the fake eyelashes came from a French prostitute.
They did.
Yeah,
saw that.
yeah.
I saw that.
Y'all saw that?
think I
It
saw
was a
it.
French prostitute.
To catch the drop.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It was a French prostitute, right? All right, and she basically came up with this mechanism that when her client shot off on her forehead, she came up with these fake eyelashes to keep the semen from going to the eyes. You know what she called it? A cumbrella.
Sure
She
did.
called it a fake eyelash.
Wow.
The original word for those fake eyelashes was called cumbrellas.
I didn't know that.
To catch the ejaculation parts of her clients, man. All right, reading again. All right, it says, Sirach 26 and 9. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. And ultimately, that sums up seduction.
Yeah.
It's seduction.
And that sums up the cumbrellas.
Yep.
Auntie, look at her eyelids.
Yep,
What's
yep.
on your eyelids?
Yep. Those eyes. All right. All right. So the nature. Now we know the nature of a whore is what? Seduction.
Yeah, seduction.
That's
yeah.
their. You know. All right. It says, verse 10. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. All right. A college, that's a form of liberty.
Yeah. That's right.
A university, especially. You know.
And that's why those, like women you meet in today's time, they have one baby father.
Yeah.
That child may be 22 years old.
Yep.
They have another baby father. That child may be 12.
Yep.
They got a third baby father. That child's 9. A fourth
Yep.
baby father. Now that child's 9 months old.
Yep.
You know, they've just really gone through the cycle of their life, wandering and gathering abroad.
Yeah. Basically being a whore.
You know?
You know. I know you were holding something. You like you holding something. All right.
This is Sirach chapter 27, starting at verse 23. Hast thou children, instruct them, and bow down their neck from their youth. Hast thou daughter, have a care of their body, and show not thyself.
You're supposed to discipline your child, man. Your son with the rod. Okay. And then it says, what about the daughter?
Has their daughter, have a care of their body,
Meaning what? Because if you don't watch over her, it's a high possibility she can become pregnant.
and show not thyself cheerfully toward them.
Meaning what? You're not supposed to be their friends, man. All right?
Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter, but give her to a man of understanding.
Meaning what? A man of the Lord. You know? Because at the end of the day, marriage back in the ancient time frame was what? It was a partnership. You know, both parties benefited from the other party. But now, hell, you can't do that because this society is so corrupt, and mainly all these women are refined and they have multiple baby fathers.
Mainly the woman benefits today.
Exactly. So all these women that you marry, in most cases, they're extremely huge liability.
And when it's talking about, like you say, understanding, it's not understanding how she feel or what she think or what tickles her fancy. It's like the brother said, a man of the Lord who understands the way of Yahweh Shem Shah and the way a woman should conduct herself.
And to
Man.
prove your point, okay, now we see how America does the process of marriage based on emotions.
Good.
Well, why is it you have all these huge divorce rates?
Right.
Well, she loved him, right? You know,
Right.
love is nothing but emotional.
Yeah.
That can go and come anytime.
And then there's 90% of divorces in the so-called black community are initiated by so-called black women.
Exactly.
It's not the man who initiates,
Right.
it's the woman.
It's the
Yep.
woman.
Yep.
Because a woman would never love a man the way a man loves a woman. The only real love you get from a woman is when that woman loves her son. And when that daughter loves her father.
Right?
Everything else is filthy, fugazi.
It's right. Yep.
Tell them, baby, we've been around, huh?
Sirach 26
Still doing the thing.
and 11. Watch over an impotent eye, and marvel not as she trespass against thee. All right.
Don't be heartbroken.
Yeah.
Don't be dumbfounded. I can't believe this motherfucker cheated on me.
Right.
No, expect it, man. You know, you're supposed to expect everything. That's why you don't really give your mind to anything external, whether it's a woman, a car, or a house, or anything, or a job. Why? Because, hey, it can easily leave.
Stoicism.
Huh?
Stoicism.
Stoicism. That's what it
The
is.
video y'all sent out.
Yeah. And that stoicism deals with what? Being able to accept things and having an indifferent opinion, meaning what? It's nothing personal.
All right. Sirach 26:12. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found a fountain and drink of every water near her.
And that's literally meaning what? She's giving head to any and everybody. I didn't say it, the scripture stated. Healing the elder is me.
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow.
And what's her quiver?
Twat.
Her twat.
Yep.
Her
Yep.
vagina. You know?
And that arrow is any penis that's penetrating.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's an arrow.
Yep.
And that's why the Heavenly Father, like in Babylon the Great, well, America was to a harlot, you know, due to the whoredoms of her witchcraft, and different things of that nature, you know, and because the whoredoms of femininity, they all coincide and coexist one with another, whether it's the physical woman or whether it's the physical landmass. But they have that same judgment that is for to come, which is that rotting away, ultimately,
Yep.
destruction.
And that's heavy because the great America, that whore, that harlot, all she has been doing has been gathering abroad.
Yep.
You know? With these other nations.
What do you call it? Foreign policies?
Yes.
You know, sleeping with those other nations. You know?
So her rhyming side is like the cadence of the bridges, the
Yeah.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
More the head of it.
Yeah.
Well, she had. I'm sorry, brother.
I got it.
No, the whore of Babylon has a urinary tract infection.
That's right.
You know what they say urinary tract infection is? Well, different men, like you can go on birth control, right? So different men ejaculating, but you don't have a period. So your period cleanses out all those infections.
Yeah.
So the infection just stays inside you. So the sperm right inside you. And that's where you get a UTI, urinary tract infection. That's spiritually the whoredom of Babylon.
And that's what puts these more spirits on these women by multiple men ejaculating in them. Because your sperm is a vibration.
Hey, and any open wound has to be taken care of. And a woman's vagina is an open wound.
Yep.
So if you cut your arm and you never clean it, you never put an ointment on it, and you just letting, dirt, grime, different liquids and stuff, and eventually it's gonna get infected. It might set up gangrene.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing to do. So a woman should have sense to know that if you let every man run up into you, ejaculating you, you don't know who he just finished hitting. Eventually, you're gonna get something. And it's a fact that most STDs come from women, man.
You know, but they know it's not the most high.
That's right.
Yeah, quick little article. This is from DecanChronicle.com. The title says, "Find out how women keep DNA from men she has had sex with." It says a new study has found that women carry living DNA from all the men she has ever had sexual relationship with. That's right, ladies. The startling discovery was made by researchers at the University of Seattle and the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. The discovery was made by accident when the team was initially attempting to find out if pregnant women with a son are more susceptible to neurological diseases that men are more vulnerable to. The study began to take a turn when scientists dived deep into the female brain. They discovered the woman's brain possessed male DNA known as male mitochondrialism. These cells are different to that of the cells that make up a woman.
And it's called the imprint, you know? And that's why we need salvation, because the Heavenly Father gave the nation of our women, the women of our nation, over to whoredoms, man. And to even think about or even fathom your present woman dealing with another man, it drives you mad. Or even thinking about her past that you never want to think about, it'll drive you crazy, drive you insane to think about those particular things, man. You know, because it's called that, I'm sorry, bro.
No, go ahead.
You know, but that imprint that these women have, you know, that's one of the reasons why, you know, you kind of bump heads because of those different spirits and vibrations.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's rightfully so, though, because basically, hey, the way we be feeling about our own women, that's how the Most High felt about us.
That's right.
You know, because basically, hey, he left his imprint on us, and what happened, basically, we committed spiritual fornication and got imprinted build the philosophies of these other nations, man.
That's right.
You know?
It says, find a man's DNA in a woman's brain from the first three sources applies to only small percentage of women. The only likely option researchers could account for in the study of 63% women who had it through sexual intercourse. The implications for women are great. When sperm enters a woman, it swims until it hits a wall, then seeps into her flesh. If it is in your mouth, it can get into your nasal areas, behind your eyes, and even your inner ear. It then enters your bloodstream and collects in your brain and spine. You can never get rid of it.
Now think about this woman has had 100 partners, man, who has ejaculated in her. She is a walking nutcase, man. Literally, man, like literally. Bro. Hey, that's why we need salvation, man.
That sums it up.
That sums it up, man.
Hopefully you got it.
With every man a woman has a sexual relationship with, she absorbs his spermatozoa, which becomes a part of you forever. The study optimized the brain of elderly women, many of who have been.
You know what? And that's another reason why these damn women are so filthy. Because back in the scriptures, man, those women wasn't switching, you know, like, I feel like this one minute and like that the next minute. No, it's because you have to actually respect this angle, multiple sexual partners, man. Different vibrations. All right, now you filthy in the mindset.
You know, something Apostle Gabar said years ago, women have options. Like Babylon made women heartless. Women have options, and when you have options, it's hard to be solid and keep your integrity when you are always aware of your options. You know?
It says the study had optimized the brain of elderly women, many of who have been carrying male DNA for more than 50 years.
You know? Brother said precept.
They have precept. This is the book of 3 John, verse 4. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth.
Yep.
You know, basically just summarizing, we need salvation. Because anything outside of these scriptures and dipping and diving into these articles, different things of that nature, man. Like, this life is not a life worth living.
It's not.
You know, this is a punishment ground, and salvation and redemption is what we actually looking forward to. That's why it counted all joy that we walk in that truth, that we walk in that light, man. Because that's what it's all about. Because those are the things that are well pleasing unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
And then little children, that can also be, you know, talking about the brotherhood, you know. Further prove that. This Matthew Mark 10 and 14. But when Yahushua saw it, he was much displeased and said unto them, suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
I got a quick one.
I got two.
Real quick. Amos 7:17. Therefore, thus said Yahweh, thy wife should be a harlot in the city.
That's literal, man. You know, that prophecy is being exercised at this time frame right now.
And thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword.
And then they're doing it. Jackson, what, chick just got killed in a car?
One got killed, dude got shot, another got shot in the lower back.
Right.
From the same guy.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
sure.
From the same guy.
Yeah. So America was not this great place to be brought to for a paradise. No, America was set up to be bitter so we can finish the rest of our captivity, man.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land.
And this is that polluted land, man. And America is responsible for all these bullshit, this westernization mindset. Now remember, it's the main hub of Esau, man. Go ahead, bro.
And Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got two for you. We'll get this in 1 Timothy, now I'm getting Hosea. Let me go with the elder just read. 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 6. So like 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the average Israelite woman, man. Because a lot of your freedom came with a cost. So you have the benefit of embracing freedom as soon as you leave your parents' house, but you never have your biological needs met, which is to be a mother, a wife, you'll have children under one household. The Most High put certain things in your DNA, so you can't help but to desire certain things, man.
Yeah.
All right, a lot of women, they can't find, they're getting older.
In the wall.
They hit the wall. So you realize that you were given a crappy deal.
Yeah.
The nature of Satan is when he gives you a contract. You ever see, you know how to do those record label deals, those record deals? You get a $20,000 advance and a bottle of champagne, and you sign a contract, and you think you living it up. But really, you finna be in debt. That's the nature of Satan. He gives you all the goodies up front, but then there's a back payment to that.
It's fine print.
Yeah, they're fine print. So the Israelite woman in America, she was seduced by that upfront money, that advance, which is her freedom.
Like that 360 deal.
That 360 deal. But that back pay was you finna be alone, bitter, single, and you living it. You dead while you living, and that's one example of being dead while you living, man. You know,
spiritually good.
You spiritually you deprived of the laws. You know, you're basically the average Israelite woman is a lost soul. She just lost.
Because back in the day when we were coming up, you would see daughters, like girls, playing with dolls and stuff, just being nurturers and things of that nature. But you hardly see that shit now, man.
Now you see them on the video twerking with their mama.
Yeah.
Like that shit is
3 years old,
Right,
twerking with your mother.
Can't tie the damn shoe, but she can twerk right inside the mama. I got a piece of that.
This last one. Hosea chapter 4, verse 13 down to 14. They sacrifice upon the top of the mountains, upon the tops of the mountains.
That day is us. Like Elder Bond said, this is a punishment. This is a land of punishment, man. That day is us. All right. Now this is us going behind the Most High back and cheating on him. All right. Go ahead.
And burn incense upon the hills.
Yup.
Under
Those are
oaks,
spiritual adultery for the most. Yahweh Shai. All right.
under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good.
And that's where you get that church, the concept of the church.
Yep.
And that's the reason why the ceilings are made like that. Going back to that.
And the church,
The groves.
and all the ceilings they're usually made out of wood.
That's right.
You used to go to church.
That's right.
You know. They got the stained glass windows to bring in
Sunlight.
the sunlight, which is the worship of Baal, the sun god. You know. Go to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know.
Because the shadow thereof is good. Therefore, your daughters shall commit whoredom.
Now, keep in mind, Deuteronomy 28 was that marriage contract. And what do you call it? The penalty of the contract if you refuse to keep it?
Breach of contract.
Yeah, the breach of contract. So these are the things that's going to happen if you breach the contract. So, going back to Hosea, this is the proof. This is the footage of, okay, us commit adultery behind the Most High's back. But now this is the punishment.
And your spouses shall commit adultery.
So guess what? Our spouses are our women. So our spouses don't commit adultery. And even if your actual woman had committed adultery, Amos 7:17, you most likely didn't get a virgin.
That's right.
You know?
There's a point that you made before, how their minds are not with us.
Yep.
Just the simple fact that their minds ain't programmed to how we want them to be is like an ancient woman.
Yep. Because your woman is not in unison with your mindset.
Yeah.
You know?
She's of the world.
She's of the world, man.
Yes, it's going to be it. Verse 14. I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom.
Hey, whoa, it's not without punishment. And they don't get punished. They don't get punished.
They live a long life.
Cause they even make it cute. They call it cheat on this person.
They're becoming great grandma.
Yeah, man.
What do they call it? Entanglement?
Entanglement. Yeah, Esau allows, Esau, it's a serpent, man. He allows Eve to create all these euphemisms and take the gravity away from what she actually does. You know?
Nor your spouses when they commit adultery,
Yep.
for themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots.
Yep. Yep. All right.
So like Israelite men.
Yep.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Hey, brother, just spoke of that. Yeah. That is
Entanglement.
Yeah. She doesn't respect that man as her husband, man, or the head of the house. Because any woman that respected her husband would not be so disrespectful towards him, man, because she would have some type of fear towards this man and the repercussions would come behind, you know what I'm saying, being like that, man.
And that proves the point that there's no such thing as a so-called high-value man. Because this fact that Will Smith is worth millions, all right, but he still doesn't have the established respect in his household.
It really, and I speak as a man, but our women in America, a Western woman, that's part of the king's dainties. All right, in the book of Proverbs, it says basically don't be defiled with the king's dainties. Really, the American woman, she's one of the king's dainties. because it's not our women.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett is not moving off the rules of Will Smith.
No.
She's moving off the liberty of the king of Babylon and what he gave her.
It's not work.
Yeah, so she's when we get a woman in a Babylonian woman, that's just part of the king's goodies that he allows you to rent out or lease.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what it is. It's nothing but a lease.
Maybe to produce a few more workers in the
Yeah,
world.
a few more slaves.
And you really can't get mad by asking her why you acting like this.
Yeah.
Right.
My mind already fucked.
Because it's a right goes into a mind well instructed. Well, she's already been instructed by the king of Babylon.
Yeah.
So now you're trying to reprogram a woman?
Right.
How that work?
The imprint there, man.
The imprint is there.
What that bitch say she understood the assignment?
Huh?
Who that bitch Megan say she understood the assignment? That is, one of them hoes got a song talking about she understood the assignment, man. But anyway, that assignment come from Esau. Sorry, bro. Yeah, that's what I brought the
You ever heard of some concept? You can't put new wine in the old bottle.
That's
Right.
it.
Hey, that can be applied to the woman.
Good.
You can't. It's hard to take westernization out of a woman's mind.
Hey, you have to be spiritually brainwashed.
Yeah.
The only way you have to be cleansed by the Holy Spirit, man.
All right, got a bun.
This is Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me, saying, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show thee unto the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many
We're
waters.
between the 6 and the 7 vial.
Yep.
All right, because the 7 vial is what? Ultimately, what? Nuclear destruction. What's the great whore? Nothing, man.
And you have to understand Eastern terminology to understand the book of Revelation.
Yeah.
Why is this place called a whore? You know, it's hard to understand evil if you was raised in evil. So you don't see evil as evil.
Right.
But for when the scripture spoke about the judgment of Babylon, hey, he was talking to righteous men that came from a righteous society. So when the Most High is referring to a place that's called a whore, all right, that's defiling something that was righteous in the first
But
place.
I'm gonna say this and be careful, bros, because it's easy for a righteous man to be caught up in his lifestyle. Because remember, when John the Revelator saw her, it talked about the admiration he had for her. Meaning what? He fell in love with this great woman.
He was enchanted.
He was enchanted by her. So this lifestyle can get you enchanted.
And those haughty looks.
And those haughty looks. You seen her in that red dress, you know, blonde hair and shit.
Hey, our forefather John looked back like, you know, he looked back at some man, you know?
Yeah, the lady
So
red
it is,
dress,
man.
yeah.
John the Revelator.
You got that, boy.
Yeah. Verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
They adopted, in short, they adopted Western thought.
That's right.
The democracy,
Yep.
our Christianity,
That's right.
our the American dollar.
Right.
You know, those committed whoredoms with making those deals, a lot of those international foreign trade deals. You know, adopted the American dollar as their top currency. All right, is there other one?
A little bit more.
Okay, come.
It says, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Yeah, you got a damn Arab woman that's LGBTQ. You know, you got East Indian women that they in college now not having kids. You know, they drunken off the Babylonian doctrine. They believe in having different sexual partners.
Wearing jeans.
Wearing jeans. I think it was some
Driving.
right. I think it was some movie on Netflix that came out like last year. A girl that was from East India. Her whole motive was to lose her virginity in high school. Now, where did they learn that? Where did they learn that from? No, that's hey man, you know, they're defiled with the whore of Babylon. All right.
Yes.
All right. I know you was holding something. My had been holding something for a minute too.
Hey, can I say something?
Yep.
This porn star, her name Mia Khalifa.
Yeah, I was just thinking of her.
Yeah, so she from where's she from?
She from Saudi Arabia.
She
Libya. One of those
yeah,
Middle Eastern countries.
she one of them damn countries. Anyway, like she came over here, started doing porn. Her family disowned her because she know, cause they knew
Yeah.
the lifestyle she was living it wasn't right.
Right.
So she should have come to America
Yeah.
and live her whorish life.
Yeah.
And exactly what she is now.
She go back home, she gonna put to death.
That's right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but was not Buffy the body like banned from going back to her hometown? 'Cause I believe she's Ethiopian, Cushite, but this was over a decade ago. But basically, she was banned from going back to her country.
Yeah.
You know?
And something similar. It was a World Star today of a little chick, probably like 19 years old, and her family found out she did a scene with ghetto gaggers. So her whole family disowned her, man. Just like that. Man.
And really, that was being like martyred.
Yeah.
Because in real time, she getting them stones. You know?
Oh, come. This is Ephesians chapter 5, Verse 22, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husband as unto the Most High. For the husband is the
supposed to be
head.
under the rule of your husband, you know, and that's actually going into the concept of the standard of how a woman's supposed to act. Going back into 1 Corinthians 11 chapter, because you have Yahweh, Yahushua, you have the Israelite man, and then the Israelite woman.
And that's an extension of the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, and that's the way you're going to get into the kingdom.
That's it.
Through your man.
See, if I could just make a point, the most I was setting up these churches in captivity in those different areas over there in the what do you call it, the Greco-Roman Empire. Right, he was setting up a righteous kingdom within a wicked kingdom. Those little sanctuaries.
Yeah.
So, but the chain of command was, this was like literally from the spirit world to earth. The Most High, Yahushua, the husband, the wife, and the children, and that's a direct bridge between the kingdom in the spirit world and the heaven on earth, man, or the planet Earth. That's what the Israelite woman doesn't understand. Your submission to a man of Yahweh Shema Shai, you just aligned yourself to a godly line, man.
Those are
way
your
to
works.
salvation.
Those are your works.
Those are your works.
Those are your works. That's it, man.
And man, you got women that can make all type of salves and ointments, and they sew garments. You know, they do all type of things for the body. But here you got on the other end of the spectrum, other women who don't do shit but challenge the doctrine of Yahweh Shema Shai.
Right.
You know?
Right. You're going to be destroyed.
You're gonna be destroyed, man. You have no use in the kingdom of heaven.
I get that scripture through her, through Sam.
A little more on this.
Oh yeah, Lamar, finish it out right quick, Lamar.
For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach is the head of the church.
When you go to that head, it means cornerstone, right? So a woman's cornerstone is her husband. Another term for cornerstone is what? A leader. You're a leader. Go ahead.
And he is the savior of the body.
And he is the savior of the body. All right?
All right, this Micah 17. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, saints shall cover her.
And these are women who has husbands in this truth. She that is my enemy, meaning what? You're sleeping with the opposition.
And in the spirit, Lot's wife was like his enemy.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, Joel's wife was his
Eve,
enemy.
wife, Eve
Adam.
and Adam.
Yeah.
You know, Eve was Adam's opposition.
Because your woman, if your woman wants your enemy to stay in power,
Yeah.
she wants your oppressor to stay in power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If y'all living off two opposing doctrines, it's an enemy, man.
And that's how you know that the serpent and Eve basically wanted that power.
Yeah.
Because Adam was in a form of rulership. So what the serpent said was, look, hey, if you do this, hey, you get cut in too. You know what I'm saying? And look at the woman now.
Yep.
Because hey, both parties was under the rule of Adam back then.
Yep.
You know, the serpent gave Eve what? An avenue of feminism.
Basically, the subject's ruling over.
Exactly.
And you know what? You know, it's heavy because you said both parties was under the eve of Adam. Did it not say, according to prophecy, that the elder should serve the younger? So that was the first setup in the beginning anyway. You know?
That's right.
And it just came back. It just
That's right. That's right. Everything is reincarnated.
Yeah, it reincarnated.
They get along good.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Them two motherfuckers, they get along good.
And the proof on that, you go to a court, you know, it's the Esau system, and Eve being a straight prosecutor.
Yeah.
Blonde hair.
Yeah.
Straight prosecutor, man.
Yeah.
What's the name? They right, they not right. What's the name?
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, she sent a lot of niggas away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's a Haitian.
yeah.
Hey, that would be Bill say, like, black judge women try to take my freedom.
Yep.
Almost made me hate my people.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
a fact.
Because anyway, nigga.
Eve has a vendetta against the Israelite man.
Sometimes you
Cover her, bitch said to me,
He said to me, go ahead.
where's the Yahweh shot that power?
Hey, where is Yahweh Ba'ashem Al your power? That proves that some of our women would not make it, man. Go ahead.
My eyes should behold her.
Meaning what? You're going to see this in real time. Go ahead.
Now she should be trodden down as a mark of the street.
Hey, and that's literal. That is literal. All right.
They gonna show you there's gonna come a point in time where, just like Job, our faith is gonna be tested. A lot of our women are gonna be there in the middle of that test. We didn't go 10 days without the food shipment coming in. Where's your God? You know, stormtroopers coming. Where's your spiritual power? Where's your, so you know,
The scripture is there for a reason.
it's there for a reason.
That's right.
Hey, this Isaiah 28, verse 18. Where y'all talking about how Eve made that contract with the serpent, you know? And your covenant with death should be disannulled, and your agreement with hell should not stand.
Yep.
So go to that contract, man. So that disannul going to, it's going to be voided out. It's going to be canceled out. At the end of the day, you made that contract or that agreement or that pact with the damn devil, man. He's going to deceive you. So what he wanted to do, he wanted you to sign this deal so he could take advantage of the so-called, Black, Hispanic, Native American man.
Yeah.
So now he's done with you, and you're going to go in hell and captivity along with him.
Yep.
So,
And how you destroy a kingdom is when you free his servant.
Yeah.
Like the woman was our servant. So when you gave this woman the liberation, our kingdom went down.
That's why Pharaoh didn't want to let Jake go.
Exactly. Exactly. You know?
Man, Eve have contributed so much in helping Esau bring down the Israelite man, from abortions, you know what I'm saying?
Tuskegee experiment.
Tuskegee experiment.
Yep.
You know,
support.
getting their tube time, child support, Section 8, anything for them to get ahead, man. If they have to step on Jake, goddamn it, to move up, they gonna do it.
The average Israelite woman, I speak from my own assessment, they'll rather have your baby and not be with you than help you build.
Yeah.
A lot of women, they want to have fun with you, fill in the blanks, but they refuse to help you build as a so-called Black and Hispanic Native American man.
That's their meal ticket now.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what the curses.
Yeah.
That I get that, bro. Yeah, you got something more?
They got something quick for you.
now I'm just saying, like with that, that public housing, when we watched the other day, Esau always used, the so-called Black women as those social workers, be the front guards for, you know what I'm saying? So every time when they saw like a man in the household, without a man in the household, they'll get incentives, or the rent will go down. So if you have a man in that household, man, you'll get kicked out. You know?
They go back to that one movie, right? It's Saudi.
Yeah, Claudie. Lawrence, not Lawrence Fishburne, the other one before him.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Yeah, Claudine starring James Earl Jones, and showing you that was a military tactic. The welfare state, the welfare system was a military tactic. That's an unnatural. That's an artificial environment. That's an artificial environment to have a housing project like the documentary saw. A housing project that housed 700 to 1,500 people, and none of them have a father. So it's a woman and her bastard children being surrogated. They're being surrogated by the government, by the state.
That's right.
That's an unnatural habitation. And the way you know it's unnatural because it doesn't exist in the wild. It doesn't exist. You know?
Like that Jake was saying, like those high-rise apartments with like 15, 16 floors, here you are. And most of them apartments have like 5 to 7 children in them.
Yep.
So while you on the 15, 16 floor, your children down there 15 floors below doing anything they want to do, man. So that concept right there, they pretty much got that mindset. They can do anything. They can, pretty much put their hands into anything they want. That's why you see the niggas in Chicago today's time.
Like a nigga was manufactured. That's not natural. Nations don't produce niggas.
No.
A nigga was manufactured in a laboratory called the projects. Hence the term project. Jay-Z was talking about that shit.
The project, what goes into a scheme?
Yeah, a draft, a scheme.
A scheme?
An experiment.
Yeah.
Well, they drew it up. They saw the documentary. They had the white paper board. They had the blueprint for the projects.
Yeah.
You know?
One of the definition of enema online goes into like to throw forth.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Pro means forth, Jack means to throw.
Yeah.
You know?
He been thrown for us.
And like the 21 Savage, Kodak Black, them Chicago niggas, that's the finished product. That's the finished product of the experiment.
Chief Keef.
The Chief Keef. Huh?
And then the symbol.
Yeah. Now they put the package on it, got the barcode on it. Yeah.
You got the tax now.
Got the tags now, the muscles and shit. Hey, but that's the finished product, man.
Gang.
Yeah. That's what you call a Frankenstein. That's not the Israelite man in his natural state. Esau manufactured these Frankensteins in these little surrogate environments called the hood, man.
Right.
Now he's manufacturing it now in today's time like an androgynous spirit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You see these so-called gangster rappers with leggings on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, man.
And that's an objective within the New World Order. Hey, even Joe Biden, they one of the same. Hey, Joe Biden, man. Hey, that nigga just came out talking about he's a bisexual now, man. You know, and that's what they want, man. That goes to prove that Esau, has that philosophy of Sodom and Gomorrah. And I get Deuteronomy 32. What you had, Elder?
Yeah, just going back to how you said Esau and Eve,
Yeah.
based on the Adam.
Still want this.
Lamentations chapter 5, verse 8 servants have ruled over us.
Right.
There is none that doth deliver us out of their
Hey,
hand.
Esau.
Yep.
Esau is their
The
servant.
motherfucking servant.
Right, he's a servant, but he has their rulership. Why? Because Yahweh Shah received that blueprint from the Most High to give this man a physical kingdom, man.
Hey, the brother Lamar just quoted that scripture. I have seen servants sit upon horses.
That's right.
The horse represents power,
That's
man.
right.
We gotta go to these servants for everything.
And what was that statue of who?
Theodore
It was
Roosevelt.
Theodore
Yeah, yeah.
Roosevelt, and you had Gad on one side, and you had Jake on the other side. Gad had his gun pointed down, and Jake had his gun pointed up, meaning what? That they were united. You know, he was willing to do whatever for this so-called white man.
And it's another one, because they call it equestrian statues. They got Theodore Roosevelt on the horse. They basically got Gad and Judah basically bound up. They both got chains on
Yeah, I
them.
saw that too. You're right.
Wasn't there one where like an eagle was on top of a lion or something like that? Well, I know
That's another one.
That's another one. There was another one. Jake was in shackles. Hey man, hey, this is real, man.
Yeah.
Servants are over. Hey, the Most High done put it in Esau's DNA to rule, man.
That's it.
You know?
He has a ruling class mentality.
Yep. Well, I'm sorry, like he's an actual servant. He's a God-made servant. Every human has their position on earth, man. Every nation has their position. Esau was meant to serve, man.
That's right.
You know? Like we was watching goddamn, what was we watching last night? Hey, and what the king, he refers to that one house, he was like, these are my leather makers, or my meat makers. The dude, when he chopped his hands off, chopped his fingers off,
Oh yeah.
he was like, he refers to them like, these people, these are my meat packagers. Like, so the Most High, he specified this particular nations, all right, for particular tasks. Esau's a damn servant.
The world made for our sakes.
Yup.
And then you think about it, spoke him up. But
Making shit
but you think about it, he was really made to be a demonstration of wickedness. That's why eventually he's gonna be done away with. You know, because you go to these other nations like Elam, Ammon, like they have a real servitude spirit.
Yep.
But
That's
Esau so proud. You know, he was meant to be that demonstration of wickedness and pride. You know, then because his servitude gonna be a punishment. Then that nigga getting away because really he don't bring nothing to the earth. Like every other nation, they got something that they bring to the earth. You know, to forge the planet Earth. But Esau's the only nation. All right, his existence destroys the earth.
Counts. I mean,
Yeah.
That's why you're reading in the book of 2nd Ezra 69. You know, his whole being of existence was to be brought up into a haughty estate, to be brought down before the kingdoms of men.
Yeah.
You know, the same way that Yahweh Shah is coming back and every eye shall see him, the downfall of Esau and Edom shall be a great downfall, and every nation is going to be able to adhere to it.
You know, I think about that scripture now, it kind of sheds light on that scripture. Esau was the end of the world.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, he causes the end of the age.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching Planet Earth, I was watching Our Planet, and it sucks to watch an episode of like Planet Earth, because you're not going to go without seeing an episode where the narrator is describing how this particular species went from 150,000 to about 1,500 left. You know, this particular swarm of flies, I mean, this particular swarm of birds used to cover the vast continent.
Right.
Now there's sadly only 27 left. Like, God damn,
You
man.
go to Esau's house, you can see them stuffed on the walls.
Yeah,
and shit.
man.
Like you said, like you said, he brings the end. Because it was one post, brother, put up a while back. Basically, it was dealing with the bees, like a meme, of a bee. And basically, there's a caption that said, if I go, you go. Basically, if there ain't no more bees, humans not going to exist.
But we found out, like the brothers, you brought out the cell phone towers. And I recently saw a documentary on insecticides. So basically, the insecticides was the cause for a lot of bees disappearing, man.
Yeah.
And and it was sucked so bad. I know better when you get the scriptures. We're nutrient deficient as a nation in America, man, because you got so-called industrialized farming. They never kept the land Sabbath. Then on top of that, you got within that intensive farming. So within a short, like Esau, he how do you call it? He cultivates 10 times the amount of crops that he should year round, even in the winter time. So that strips the soil of its nutrients. So we're literally dying.
Say he makes the world as a wilderness.
And because life is a simulation, that's why it says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest."
Yep.
And you look at things like our planet or planet Earth or National Geographic or Discovery Channel, and you look at it and you're in amazement on how beautiful the Heavenly Father made everything, but at the same time you're disappointed in the particular condition that the planet Earth is in, you know. But this is throwaway. You know what I'm saying? All this is going to be discarded, man. You know, like even what we see, we touch and we feel, the Heavenly Father has what prepared. He has fire prepared, right? That's why he says to remember Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, because all of this is something that's temporal. But the eternal, that's what's for to come. That's why Esau's hand, Jacob's hand held on to the heel of Esau. You know what I mean?
This Romans 9 and 21. Have not the potter power over the clay?
Right, so who's the potter? Yahweh Bashem Al-Shah. Go ahead.
And it says of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor.
Remember, because what? Because out of Jacob, right? You had who? No. Out of Isaac came Jacob and Esau. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I always go to the spirit, like Jacob's made plain.
Yeah.
Go to the word plain.
Yeah. One who kept the law was morally.
And it says, and another unto dishonor.
Right, and that's Esau. So at this time frame, even Apostle Paul is breaking down, you have what? Two mannerisms of people, man. Go ahead.
Verse 22. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endure with much long suffering?
Hey, this is what Yash was talking about, because Esau is that great example of the wicked. All right, and once Esau is destroyed after 1,000 years, that flesh will never come back on earth again. Those spirits are going to go into the spirits of these other nations. All right, so they'll come back as Elam or Ishmael or Ham, but they can never be an Israelite. Go ahead, bro.
Endured with much long suffering.
Right, and this is the process of the Most High enduring with long suffering. He's letting his rulership go on until all prophecies are fulfilled. Then he's going to destroy this nation.
The same way he did the ancient Pharaoh.
The same way he did the ancient Pharaoh. Go ahead, bro.
The vessels of wrath fitted to
The
destruction.
vessels of wrath fitted for destruction. Now, do what you got, bro.
I got one for you.
Okay.
When y'all getting that, I got one real quick. You got one real quick, bro? Go ahead, bro.
Romans 9 and 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What then shall we say? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? The Most High forbid.
And this is all the will of the Most High. All right. You just should be glad you are an Israelite. Okay. Don't worry about anybody else. Just worry about you. All right. You got to be selfish in this thing. You know, you think Kobe gave a fuck who else was scoring, man? No, you keep scoring, man. Go ahead, bro. Get that Proverbs 10 and 20.
This Proverbs 10 and 25.
Right.
As the whirlwind passeth, so is the wicked. So is the wicked no more,
Right. So is the wicked no more. Go ahead.
but the righteous is in the everlasting foundation.
Meaning what? It's going to come to a point of time where Esau would never dwell on this earth ever again as an Edomite, man. All right? But it starts with the ending of his rulership. Right. Get Proverbs, not Proverbs, but Genesis.
Yeah, because the good can't come in until the wickedness and unrighteousness exit.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's two opposing forces. Yeah. One has to be on top, one has to be at the bottom in order for these two opposing forces to exist, man.
They can't rule together.
They cannot rule together, man.
And that's what's going on now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we stay bump head with them.
That's right.
We know next people we supposed to be on top of them, but we're not.
That's right. That's right.
We gonna, it's a constant bump ahead.
That's it.
Stay until the Lord come back and put the rightful people on top.
Another definition for Yaquab is what? A liar, L-I-E-R, in wait. That is the reason why Jacob had his hand on the heel of Esau, because Jacob is a liar in wait. What are we waiting on? Yahweh Shah.
And that energy is only coming, from the potential house of David. All right? Because majority of our people don't mind being slave under this nigga, man. But see, the house of David has raised up with a ruling class mentality, like the elder brother I was on Alabama said, like, once you make a claim, that you're an Israelite, you enter into a war, because you have information of rulership now, The word Israel itself, Yasha'Allah, he Prince of Power. So when you make a mistake, that you're an Israelite, now you're on a whole nother stratosphere to Esau, because he knows about the throne of David.
You're a threat.
You see, you're a threat now. You know, and that's what's clashing in the spirit is the energy of Esau, Edom on the left hand side. Then you have the rise of the house of David on the right hand side, man.
That's right.
That's why I said the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
That's right.
It's all spiritual.
That's right. Everything starts in the spirit first.
And another point too, and you think about it, why are the cops killing Jake?
Yep.
It's always there. A so-called white cop killing Jake. You never hear about a white cop killing a Chinese person, Japanese person. You never hear that, but it's always they killing a Jake. It's always that way.
Right.
But you never hear that.
Yeah.
But about killing somebody else, but it's always killing the Israelites.
That's right. They join heirs, man. Psalms the 83rd chapter. Go ahead, LZ.
All right, Sirach 33 and 13. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him.
So the Most High made the Israelites to be the righteous, and he made the Edomites to be the unrighteous.
That's balance.
It's balanced, and it's that simple, man. Go ahead, bro.
All right, to render to them as liking him best. Good is set against evil.
Good is set against evil. Israel is set against Edom, man. Go ahead.
All right, and life against death.
And life. What is life? The Israelites. All right. And what's the death? Esau. All right. And what the scripture states in Revelation, it talks about how Esau had this sword to promote death. That man is death.
So he take peace from the earth.
He takes away peace from the earth, man. And look at the mentality of these idiots, man. All they want to do is kill. Not kill, but actually murder and rape. Go ahead, bro.
So is the, I'm sorry, brother. So is the godly against the sinner,
Right.
and the sinner against the godly.
Right, so these are two opposing forces, man. And one has to be on top and the other has to be secondary.
Because you know, when we came into this, our nationality and came back to Yahweh outside, we left the vibration of Esau.
Yeah.
Like you said, once you come into this truth, you didn't leverage yourself up there with Esau.
Yeah.
Before that, we was under his vibration. Because it says the way that Sirach 10, the way of the king, so is his citizens.
Right.
So we weren't the sinner against the godly. We was under the vibration of the sinner.
And it's all spiritual. See, Esau moves like Satan. Satan don't give a damn about the cats outside of the truth. He got them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so Esau don't care about the gangsters and the doctors. Anybody that's about benefiting his society, he don't care about them.
Nope.
He wants the Israelites, the ones that know that they're Israel.
Yep.
That's the threat.
The ruling class.
That ruling class, bro.
Because you can only have world rulership at a time.
That's right, bro.
You know?
That's right. Get that, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna pass it off. The Genesis. Yeah, the Genesis.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25. Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25. And the first came out red all over. Genesis chapter 25, verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Right, so Rebecca had twins, man. All right, but there was a problem. All right, these twins inside of her womb, they were not acting like brothers. They were literally trying to kill each other, man.
Yeah.
Why? Because that goes to show you two mannerisms of people.
Whoa, Kill Bill. Kill Bill. With who's the Edomite? What's the Edomite name on Kill Bill?
Which one?
Oh man, I just remember vaguely like they were just trying to kill each other the whole
Talking
time.
about the women, or you talking about
Biblical Fox and the Edomite woman.
Oh, yeah.
That reminds me of Jacob and Esau.
Yeah.
You know, Adam and the serpent.
Yeah, they was in that kitchen.
They was in the kitchen.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
two opposing spirits.
that's right. The kitchen could be the setting of a womb.
Woo! Where nourishment happens.
That's where you nourish it.
Verse 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment.
Right, so Esau came out red, okay? Meaning what his pigmentation was gone. All right, which further proves that Cain came back as Esau. Why? Because in Genesis the 4th chapter, the Most High took that pigmentation away from him. So due to the process of reincarnation, Esau came the same exact way.
When you know it's talking about so-called white people today, I was watching Game of Thrones, and a woman was referring to her son. She was like, I remember when you was just a little red baby. She said that last night. She's like, I remember you was just like a little red baby, something to that effect.
Straight from the womb.
Yep. Yep.
And he was compared to a hairy garment. He didn't come out with hair and shit. You know what I'm saying? But they're just talking about a dyed red garment.
Yeah, that's all it was.
That's all it was.
Blood showing forth.
His blood was showing forth. Go ahead, bro.
And they called his name Esau.
Joshua.
Joshua.
Wasted away as he.
Exactly. Go ahead.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
Now, why wasn't there a description of Jacob? He had pigmentation. He looked like everybody else, excluding Esau.
He was
And
normal.
yeah, he was normal looking. But the scripture states what? His hand was on his heel. Likewise. Which also means what? A liar in wait. Go ahead.
And his name was called Jacob.
Right?
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? Hey, jump on to it. 2 more years of the people. Maybe. Yeah, start 22.
This is book of Genesis, chapter 25, starting verse 22. And the children struggled within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Right, because that's all she wanted was a normal pregnancy. But at the end of the day, that wasn't the will of the Most High. All right, these babies were fighting inside of the womb. That is extreme hatred. And guess what? It really goes back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. All right, with the enmity between the woman, all right, and the serpent. All right, so hey, we are opposing forces, man.
Cain and Abel.
Cain and
the
Abel.
serpent.
That's all it is,
Like,
man.
in every fucking movie, the regular movie, in every sequel, they come back trying to kill each other.
That's it. That's it. We literally hate each other.
Yeah.
Man. Go ahead, bro.
And she went to inquire of the Most High.
Meaning what? She went to a prophet. Go ahead.
And the Most High said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations, 2 different classes of people, man. And that goes to show you that these twins, Jacob and Esau, they were not identical twins, man. Okay, what's the other term? They were fraternal twins. Meaning what, when you go into the science of that, they didn't share the same egg. It was 2 eggs in the womb of Rebecca, man. Going into what? 2 mannerisms of people because they was fraternal twins, man. That's why Jacob is spiritual and Esau is the wicked. They didn't share the same egg.
Can I read this again, brother? All right, Sirach 33 and 13. I go to 14. Good is set against evil and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the
What
godly.
do you point out, Elder?
And that was that struggle in the womb. That was a representation of a godly nation versus a sinner
That's
nation.
it, man.
All right, righteousness versus wickedness. That's why they had opposition in the womb, man.
That's right, bro. That's right.
Okay.
Verse 23. And the Most High said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
Right.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
So you have Israelites stronger than Edomites. You see that on the basketball court. Or even in an academic setting, man, Jacob is smarter than Esau. Point blank period.
Hey, any culture outside of the nigga world, Jacob's gonna dominate.
Anytime.
Jacob come from like Nigeria, where the parents don't give a fuck about like nigga culture. They just raise their son to just be educated.
That's right.
And he surpasses everybody.
That's right, bro.
You know?
That's
Yeah,
right.
them Nigerians be killing them Europeans. Like when it comes to engineering, you know, they don't want to see them Nigerians like all them engineers that come from France and, you know, all these different Edomite countries. Like they really have to go to Jacob over there, you know, because they put on game. You know? And they just and that's really pretty much with any time period, you know, Jake will always be superior when it came to civilization.
Hey, that's the spirit, because one of the attributes of Jake is ingenuity. You saw the movie 12 Years a Slave. Solomon North played the violin, but he engineered the bridge in the movie, man. So that goes to show the nature of an Israelite, because that goes back to life. Engineer builds.
Yeah.
So ingenuitive nature, that's somebody that's a natural builder.
Because life goes to the ability to create.
The ability to create, man.
They got like a video, they show like an older Jake, he got like pipe from under the seat. He made like a trombone out of it. Show you that spirit of creation is inside Jake.
You see it in captivity in prison.
Man,
Jake is a genius inside of prison, man.
they showed Jake a world star. He was show you how to charge your phone up.
Yeah.
It was just crazy how you would come up with something like that, man, in that time frame.
Yeah.
that Jake still they the sons of God. You know, because even when you go to these empires, like you go to Granada, you know, with the Moors, you go to Constantinople, all right. Those empires, you still have remnants of those structures that Esau can't even duplicate to this day. You know, like you go to the capital of Turkey, you know, which is Constantinople, but there was the old Constantinople, all right, going back to that wall that couldn't be penetrated. Like the Turks caught hell trying to penetrate that wall, man. You know, then you had that Jake from Italy. I forgot his name.
Forgot his name too.
Yeah, but he was so crafty, you know, with holding off all the Turks and Edomites, but it was the will of Yahweh Shema Shah for Jake to go down for the sake of prophecy, man. But just you know, Mundo, you know, Esau can't hold up, man.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, for that word manner, to manner of people, the word is la'aim. In itself, it means a people, nation. It's like a different people.
A different people. So Esau is one nation, right? And Jacob is another nation. And these both nations came from who? Isaac.
And those two people had two different natures.
Right.
They have two different natures. Once I looked at the word nature and it went back to the word natural. I could be wrong, but I think it went back to the word natural. So this is the nature of Israel in its natural state. This is nature of Esau Edom in its natural state, man.
But what's to prove your point? Chapter 27.
So now he couldn't understand that concept.
Yeah.
He kept trying to say, aren't you your father? You know what I'm saying? He kept trying, bring it out according to the scriptures,
Yeah.
He couldn't understand that concept. It's two mannerisms.
Yeah, he's spiritual.
No, he's not. Now it makes sense when he talks about the parable of Lazarus, how they break up his fix. You know what I'm saying? It's that separation. Why? Because of two mannerisms of people. And jump to Genesis 25 and 27.
This is Genesis chapter 25, verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
This is going into his nature. They say he's a cunning hunter.
Yeah.
Now, a man of the field, and this was literal.
Yeah.
Like when Esau as an individual was here, that man was a cunning hunter and a man of the field. Esau has a whole sports division about hunting. Go to Walmart during hunting season in the sports department. That whole part of the store is stocked up with hunting gear. You got whole networks dedicated to watching Esau hunt, man. Right?
They travel globally to go hunt.
Yeah.
And and not to just get off topic, but his tactic with dominating 12 tribes is through the tactic of a hunter.
Yeah.
He sets you up to these traps. He ensnares you through your devices, and when you fall for the devices, or you get what do you call it? Trapped. Enticed.
Like his policy on how he took over the world. That cunning hunter.
The cunning
from a global standpoint.
So who is this talking about? To where 5,000 years later, roughly, that there's a nation that has this man's attributes now.
It has to be them.
Hey, if you want to get in good graces with your Edomite supervisor, ask that man what type of gun he like. Ask that man. Man, I just seen Edomite start the globe. Well, I'm like, what's your favorite gun? And it's like he just came out of death, man.
Bro, they put $10,000 in their guns, bro. Like they'll get an assault rifle and they'll put at least $10K in there. All type of modifications.
They make their own bullets.
Yeah, they make their own bullets.
Hey, I wouldn't dare mess with Esau with a gunfight, man.
They basically time themselves when they come to putting the guns together and taking it apart.
They got into a science. Something that was the elder apostle Ramlock, the elder apostle Gabar. They said Esau is tactical. He's tactical, man.
Surgical.
Hey, Jacob is Jacob is not like that. Jake is kind of like he's spiritual. Like Jake can't tell you to a science how he knows how to do the footwork.
Right.
The average Jake can't write a book about how he knows how to do the things he do. It's spiritual.
We say it just happens.
It just happens. It's a flow with Jake. But Esau was like analytical and tactical. He gotta break down everything to a formula.
It has to be logic and reason.
It has to be logic and reason. And just finish it out real quick, bro.
Genesis 25, verse 27. The boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man.
Right, so plain man, plain in the Hebrew, Strong's H8535, pronounced as Tham, which means complete, morally innocent, having integrity.
A complete, moral, innocent, having integrity. Now, integrity basically means to adhere to something. Like if glue has integrity, it's adhesive. So when you have integrity, you stick it to what was Jacob sticking to? The laws.
That's it.
But then it said the wicked are estranged from the womb. What was the wicked estranged from? The laws. If you look at the word wicked in the New Testament, it goes back to transgression of the laws. So you had one nation that was adverse to the laws of Yahweh Shai, and you had another nation that was naturally adhesive to the laws and ways of Yahweh Shai. You know? Yeah, that's what it means to be morally correct, and that engenders peace. Because another one of those definitions of the thumb was peace, and the nature of, I think I looked it up or something like that. But the nature of the 12 tribes in their natural habitat, they're peaceful. That's why I gave that comparison to their contrary nation. Because it said Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. But then it said Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
So basically, you think about Esau's nature is really to bother people.
Yeah.
Like to mess with people. Because another definition for thumb, I want to say it said a quiet, ordinary type of person.
It did say that.
Basically, people that keep to themselves.
And think about Gad, the so-called Native Americans. Think about the Northern Kingdom in Central and South America. All right, they didn't know how to deal with Esau, man.
That's what Columbus said.
Yeah.
You know, Columbus actually got there, and Hispaniola, he was basically saying how peaceful these people were.
Beautiful and peaceful.
Naive
Yeah.
and beautiful.
You remember the movie Toy Soldiers?
Yeah.
You had the Commandos and the Gorgonites. Now the Commandos, they were literally hardwired to want to kill the Gorgonites. But why? For the Gorgonites, they all had a complacent, peaceful, what do you call it, docile nature, man.
What was called Archer?
Archer, and why was he called Archer? Because those represent Gad, the so-called Native Americans. You know, then there's another one called Navigator. His name dealt with something like navigation.
They remind you Issachar.
Issachar. Dealing with the stars, man. So they know. It's you that don't know, man.
And then you say basically like, you know, the commandos basically programmed to kill.
They were programmed. That was part of it. They had a chip that wired them to just be hardwired to want to kill the Gorgonites. And the commandos, they were like military elite.
Real.
And they ruled with the sword. All right? And that's why you have this book called The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman by Dr. Shahrazad Ali. And she was talking about the so-called black man in a domestic situation. He was like, the black man is peaceful by nature.
Yeah.
He don't like all that drama that the black woman bring. The one thing that stood out, she was like, the black man, he just want peace. The so-called black man, really, it goes back to the 12 tribes. They just want peace. You know?
Even how we greet each other, Shalom.
Shalom. But what were they saying in the 90s? Peace.
Yeah.
You know?
They say in the Middle East too.
Peace in the Middle East. You know?
Hey, I got precept just to prove how you said Esau is that, you know, that strategic, cunning, tactical hunter. This Ecclesiasticus 12 and 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching.
Yep.
You know, when you go crouching, you know, you stupid low.
Yep.
The scripture refers to Esau as like that crouching lion.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's what lions do to their prey, man. They wait for that right strategic moment. And they wait till, you know, they got that right moment and they'll go ahead and attack, man.
Yep.
You know? And that's how, you know, Esau did to us as a people, man. And so it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, meaning stoop low, and take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
Because what does it mean his rust has not together been wiped away? That's his nature. You're wicked by nature. So even though he put up a facade in front of you like he's a Christian, he's a diplomat, you know, he's an evangelist, you wipe that little facade away, you Esau Edom, the devil, man, the old serpent.
That's why Gad used to refer to them as that forked tongue.
Yep.
You know, when they came with the Bibles, you know, they spoke peace, harmony, and stuff like that. Next thing you know, man, Gad in the spirit world.
That was a tactic. It was tactical,
Exactly,
man. It was tactical, man. All right, what the hell? All right, go ahead,
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in
And the
him.
brother reminded us by another example of being tactical. Jacob verse 48. Esau be acting like he on your side when he want to get you to confess. Hey, look, man, look, we both want to go home. We don't care about your fucking weed. All right, we don't care about your marijuana. All right, just tell us who did it, and we can end it. Jake start singing. Let's see, that nigga got 20 years in prison.
Yeah.
You know, Esau was tactical, man.
Because when they go back in the office, they start rejoicing. Oh yeah, he gave it all up, man.
Yep.
Then you see across, like you said, across the screen,
Yep.
20 years.
Yep. Damn. Because they censor his voice out. Yeah, you know, it was me, Clay Sean, Daryl. You know, we got to fight. Next thing I know, blah, blah, blah. And I just started running. They got to shoot. I just started running. But he didn't tell the story. Now, you know, it sounded like your butt away, man. He's a hunter. He's a tactical hunter.
Yeah, he look like you guilty by association.
Don't you know Esau looks at the 12 tribes like they're prey? Like that's why I said the wicked watching over the righteous and seeking to slay him. That's a hunter observing the prey. Esau got you in something called a canned hunting situation where he has you in close quarters where he can hunt you easily.
Yeah.
You know?
The teacher of Ministry Society, the classroom,
Yep.
in Southern K, he was like, being a black man, it's not easy in America.
Yep.
You like to hunt his own.
He said that.
You know, you are the prey.
Esau got you set up like fish in a barrel, man.
Yeah.
All right?
And he says, go back to Habakkuk 2 and 4.
Yep.
And it said, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
Why though, bro? The Most High gave a program when he was talking to Rebecca. He said 2 nations are in our room and 2 manner of people.
It's in his DNA.
It's in his DNA.
And that which is crooked cannot be made straight.
That's what he said. When you have all together now wiping his rust. You know what I'm
Look
saying?
at glass.
Man, it's like looking like, oh, okay, it's a serpent, man.
But the DNA is pretty much your instructions.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
Yeah.
And it's all DNA instructions is to terrorize Jake, you know, and be the demonstration of wickedness in the earth, man.
And I can add what proved that point. Y'all remember back in the day, the little white girl, when she was asked by her mother who stole the cookies. This wasn't even 5 years old. She said it was a nigger. It was a nigger that did it.
That's how they do.
And, you know, also that precept how it goes into how the wicked is strange from the womb. You think about, you watch this movie called Good Son. And that shows you, what's his name?
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin, man.
That part.
And that shows you that real spirit, Esau, man. As a
That's
young
a sinister
What's
nature.
your
Yeah.
little sister in a lake? Frozen lake.
you hold on to that clip, like, I won't let go. You know what I'm saying?
He had him on the bridge, bro. He had like his cousin on the bridge. He was like, I'll let you go. You think you can fly? You know, and then at the end of the movie, like, he had his mom by 2 hands. The other boy was slipping. He's like, Mom, I need your other hand. I need your other. But the nature of Esau, man.
Esau loves death, man. Death, it's like death does something to him. It just makes him feel good, man. Because the scripture says, since thou has not hated blood, you know his blood gonna be shed, but he loves bloodshed, man.
He loves it, man. It's a fact.
Won't even cook his steak all the way through.
Then it said the spirit that is in him is not upright. You go to the word upright in the Hebrew is Yasharon, which that's a nickname of Israel. You know, if you go Jeshurun, you see the word Jeshurun, you know. But the word Yasharon means to be what? Straightforward. You know? Esau's not straightforward. So going back to those 2 natures, the spirit, the soul that is in him is not upright. Showing that what he's not Yasharon, he's not Israel.
Hey,
You know?
But doesn't it say that in the scripture, like, how can you make something that's crooked straight?
Yeah.
You know? So you can't make this nigga righteous.
Okay, man.
You know?
So you can't save this nigga.
It
No, I said,
said,
ultimately, you cannot save this
You
nigga.
can't say this nigga, man.
it said, but the just shall live by his faith.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you was in the car.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I got one too.
Oh, 1 second, bro. All right.
And this is Jeremiah 13:23.
Oh,
Can the Ethiopian change his skin
yep.
or the level his spots?
They can Ethiopian change the skin because we all know they black. They dark. Ethiopians, I think that's how you say it. Burnt face. So you can't change that. Can a leopard change his stripes? Absolutely not. All right.
They may ye also do good. They're accustomed to do evil.
And they're accustomed to do evil. You know, so basically in so many words, you can't un-Esau Esau.
No.
I'm wasted away. I'm stripped of righteousness. I'm stripped of a promise. I'm stripped of instruction. I'm created to be the nigga of the earth.
And basically, see, how you said he stripped all those things, he has nothing to lose.
I have nothing to lose. Like if I already know you about to win, shit, I'm just gonna be a nigga the whole time. You know? You get your whole point. Okay.
This is Job 14:4. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
real quick, bro. All right, Sirach, chapter 28, in verse 13.
Yep.
Curse the whisperer and double tongue,
Yep.
for such have destroyed many that were at peace.
Yep. You can break it down, bro.
We're not just dealing with the nature of Esau, what he did to the 12 tribes. You know, as far as what happened in the Western Hemisphere, Jacob wasn't doing anything to Esau before they came over here. And we weren't doing anything to Esau, as far as the Southern Kingdom, we was in the, interiors of Africa and also in Europe. But, going back to the history, Esau did what he did to us because he knows who we are,
Yep.
Yeah, because Jake, you gotta understand, Gad never came back across the Atlantic,
They linked back.
to fuck with Esau. Like when Jake has any type of liberty, Jake gonna set up their little civilization. They're gonna have families, they're gonna multiply, and they're gonna pretty much have their own thing amongst themselves, man. That's Jake nature. Like you seen that, in post-slavery, emancipation.
Yeah.
What did Jake do, man? Jake, even when Jake started migrating the LA and up north and the Midwest, what did Jake do? They started setting up their own communities, getting their own stores and markets and schools and
That Wall Street.
Yep. That was just one of many.
Yeah.
That was just one of many. Because that's Jake nature, to set up their own thing and do their own thing.
But that's the problem, being separate from him.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
So they want to leave Pharaoh. But because that's the nature, and all 12 tribes reacted that way. You can see it in what they protested for. They all protested was to leave me the hell alone.
Yep.
Just let us be us. Am I a man?
Yep.
And then that's why Esau created the housing projects, because when we left the South, he made sure that we didn't saturate ourselves in his neighborhoods.
Yep.
So he packed us all those housing projects. That's what that was for, man. All right, you had something?
This is Job 14:4. It says, "Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one."
So you can't protest your way into Esau respecting you, man.
Nah.
He's a conqueror. Esau conquers.
Yep.
His goal is to conquer, subdue, overthrow. Those are his attributes. That's in his DNA. All right, and Esau knows he knows the law of man. Esau knows that man wasn't created to coexist.
Yep.
Somebody has to rule over everybody else. It's you who don't have a ruler class mentality. 12 tribes. You got it, bro.
And like I say, we are better people to ourselves, man.
Yep.
That's just how we set to thrive, within peace. Because even when you go to that, what's that movie on Amazon Prime, Us, when the Jake engineer moved into with them Edomites.
Was it us or them?
Them.
Them.
Yeah. Hey, because you see how, it was peaceful when she went around her people.
Yeah.
When a woman went around her people, it was peaceful, like it was all set up, it was all love, but they were trying to force it with Esau. And then another thing, it really was a mind game too with that segregation, because Esau knows that if these people are left to themselves, they're gonna build.
Yeah.
We need to integrate them with us so we can pretty much watch over them.
Yeah. Control it.
Yeah, because Jake wasn't just a runner to live. You gotta think, Jake, all that harsh slavery, why the hell I'm gonna live by you? I got freedom to go. Jake was doing their own thing, but see, they made it seem like like Esau media. That's why he did the Rosa Parks. He did the Martin Luther King. But what's the guy from Ole Miss, Meredith? The one that
when we went to school.
Yeah, they had the National Guard escort him into the school.
Meredith.
Yeah, hey, Meredith. I know his last name was Meredith. But there was all the psyops to make it seem like Jake was really fighting to integrate with Esau. And then they put that on all these other Jakes. We need to integrate. They trying to stop us. That shit was an enchantment. But Jake really was to themselves doing their own thing, man.
Yeah. There was a book that was published maybe in the 30s. Don't quote me on a date. And it was basically a book for Jake that was traveling anywhere in America And these are in the book had the hot spots of all the Jake spots in America, showing that we had all types of establishments all in America, man.
Even during the Great Depression, there was a depression for Esau.
Yep.
Jake still was good. Like in the 30s, and that's how you know that there's facts. Because you said the 30s.
Yeah.
Cadillac almost went out of business in the 30s.
Yep.
It was Jake that saved Cadillac. Because Esau, he was going through his depression. He couldn't afford them cars. But Jake had it so good where they were paying Edomites to go get the cars for him, man. And that's what saved Cadillac, and that was in the 30s.
Yep.
All right? And then, like today, the modern woman talking about, he ain't on my level. Bitch, do you know, like I said, the Great Depression, when the earth was struggling, Jake was doing good?
Yep.
All right?
But you never.
James Mary.
Hey man,
Yeah.
hey man, hey. But you and your boo about to go under, man.
Yeah.
The serpent and his boo, y'all about to go under, man. Because one of the narratives that Esau created through all this is that we can't build without him.
Yep.
Now, in the spirit, we're not gonna build without him, and it's successful because we set up to be punished here.
Yep.
But we've been building without you, nigga.
Yep.
We're like those I'm sorry, brother.
No, you got
Those Moroccan empires, you know, the empires of the Moors. We went to that museum, man. And what I know, the byproduct of slavery in America, it created this conception that we could only have civilization with this nigga in power.
Yep.
That's why I did like the movie Black Panther.
Yep.
You know, teach his own.
Yeah.
But I'm like, at least that nigga Esau went in the picture like that, man.
And I'm gonna say this too, you know, like during slavery. Hey, we made every damn thing.
Yeah.
And guess what? They took on all the patent.
Yeah.
They done it.
Because if you got this nigga last name,
Yeah.
if you got this nigga last name and you build something, this nigga get the credit.
That's right.
You his property.
Your property built this, so the owner of the property get the credit, man.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas supposed to be mad. Y'all niggas supposed to be mad, man. You know?
And you know, you brother, you know, speaking to myself first and foremost, man, hey, you gotta look at yourself as great, man. Not in no proud way, man, but just understanding how we made, man, who our father is, who our big brother is, man. We great, man. We come from a great lineage, man, but this society has beat Jake down so much, man. Because everything that makes your life easier, it was an Israelite man that did that, man. You see? All these inventions that make your life easier, it was an Israelite man that came up with that, man.
And whether it was from the southern kingdom or the northern kingdom.
Right.
Because all that agricultural ingenuity came from Gad. All the elements of the earth that Esau
Issachar,
imitated. Yeah. Gad, Issachar, all the properties of the herbs and roots. This nigga Esau imitated, he got it from Gad. How do you know where the American ginseng is? How do you know what echinacea is? How do you know what golden seal is? You know, who taught you how to cultivate crops? Plant fish by the crops so the crops can absorb the nutrients of the fish, man. You dummy.
Issachar can do it by, they use astrology to know how to form.
That's right.
You know, Issachar used the astrology, man. And then you look at the buildings, how these Ishmaelites build, because these bitches, hey, these subdivisions, all right, these big houses, all right, that these women, you know, love to chill in. Who you think built them?
Stupid bitch.
All right, Esau just subcontract. All right, you got Jake engineering, and you got Issachar doing the brickwork, man.
Overnight.
You ain't never seen a crew full of Edomite men building nothing, man.
And then when you got the northern kingdom involved, it's gonna get built up down there overnight.
God.
You drive by and see it, and you take it for granted every day that these men are doing something that's not natural. They're building up whole subdivisions by the end of the summer. By the end, correct me if I'm exaggerating. By the end of the summer, a whole fucking subdivision is built. It's built so fast that the satellites don't even know it exists. So you try to Google map the location, it's not even on the satellite yet, man.
Esau got to catch up.
Esau got to catch up, man. Don't you know what the fuck what it means to be a Mayan or an Aztec? But before that, we were Issacharites, man. Hey, we were gods on this earth.
Hey,
We were gods on this earth.
That's why Esau come with that bullshit. They'll say that the aliens built the pyramids. You know, we're speaking about, you know, the pyramids in Mexico, Central and South America. But he don't attribute it to the tribes because he know who really did it.
right.
You know, but like you said, they can't mimic the science.
Yeah.
You know, behind how is it built?
The architecture.
The architecture,
It's
yeah.
all the math. You know, because Esau can't. Because it shows you. Because even back then we've been so dumbed down now. Cause Esau, he's dumbed the earth down, but through there he dumbed himself down. You see, but a man's mind was on such a whole nother level back then. You know, where they could build in a whole different way. Because when you don't have the equipment, you got to substitute with ingenuity. When you don't have the technology, you got to substitute with ingenuity.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yep.
That's what they say.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I work with Zebulon and Issachar. I do landscaping, right? And we can do a apartment really like in 2 hours.
Yep.
Just like that. So you know, I work with Zebulon and Issachar.
So they got to build a subdivision and maintain
That's
it.
right. Yeah.
Then who come to scoop up the garbage?
Yep.
All right.
See?
But he ain't on my level. You know?
And without these should our nation be established.
Yeah.
These are just the builders of our nation.
Yep.
We're not even talking about us utilizing the laws to run the nation. Utilizing the laws of Yahweh Shema Shai to run the nation. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
We just honoring the builders of our nation, the workers.
Yep.
You can't live without the workers. And Issachar really maintenance this.
And part of the food supply chain, Esau breaking the food supply chain. What is he doing? He's not allowing Issachar to come up here and harvest the crops.
Yep.
You see? Hey, you'll see. You know, hey, because everybody talk. What's the topic? What you bring to the table, bitch? We bring an infrastructure.
Yep.
All right. You just got box.
Yep. A pussy.
Yeah. If you take away your box, you know, from the infrastructure still gonna run.
And one thing, see, Esau, he deified and marketed something that all you women have. So you have no value.
Yep.
If all 4 billion women are anatomically the same, then what you bring to the table has no value.
Yep.
You know? But then you got a precept just gonna bring out.
Yep. This is Isaiah 3:12. It says, "As for my people, children are their oppressors."
Children, Esau can't run the world. Y'all are breaking down. Look, you gotta have the understanding of astrology to get in the ship and travel to the other side of the world. When the northern kingdom went from the Assyrian Empire to the Americas, don't you know they were using the stars to navigate? You gotta have the understanding of the astrology to build those a lot of those ruins. And that was proof during the Mayan and the Aztec Empire. And also ultimately Egypt. Alright? Don't you know that the understanding of the elements, Wisdom of Solomon, when he broke down the Wisdom of Solomon 7, don't you know that made you a god? You understand the elements, the currents of the wind, the nature of wild beasts, are the virtues, the roots, all right? All these flowers, don't you know collectively, that mean you have to run the world after that, man? And we had that, all right?
And it says, and women rule over them.
And that was manifested in women's liberation, welfare state.
Yep.
You got project builders in these inner cities, no dad in the household. You being raised by estrogen. The next generation is a generation of bitch niggas.
Yeah, that's the Eve. That was Eve great promotion.
Yep.
You know, the liberation. Because
Yep.
it liberated her from what, man? Her role in the
Yep.
family, man.
Yep.
You don't have to be that role. You know, you come, I got, you know, here it is. Like I say, Jake built everything, and then Esau liberated the woman, all right, to flourish in the world built like men the whole time, telling her she's equal or above, man.
Yeah, because if you know how to, if Eve is that great, if the living woman is that great, go build your own empire right quick.
Yeah.
Go get you some land, conquer the land,
Yeah.
get the elements, learn the elements,
Yeah.
and build your own empire.
Yep.
You know?
They can't do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, I do landscaping.
Yep.
Hey, them bitch don't want to be in that cold,
Nope.
cold weather,
Cold heat.
in cold heat.
Outside period like
That's
that,
right.
man. And moving like that, man.
And who will fucking want to go under the house, change the plumbing out? Them bitch don't want to do
And don't
that.
you know what snakes under those houses?
Right.
Big ass rats.
Yeah.
All right, it's nails hanging from under the
Yeah.
top.
Mhm.
You know, if you ADD, you lift your head up, you can die.
Yeah.
You know?
Back in that garbage truck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's men that ain't about their life on their garbage truck.
I worked in that garbage truck about a year and a half. Shit, Jake used to cause said you gotta jump off that bitch, dump, set that bitch down. The truck don't never stop moving. Once you set it down, you got cause the driver's trying to get off, goddamn.
Yeah.
So he always tipping. He might slow down a little bit, but you gotta get back on that motherfucker, you know. And then See, it's some guys that goddamn it quit mid-route. They'll jump off that bitch and tell the driver this, goddamn it. They call him a ride like, look, they get the street and be like, come pick me up. You know?
That's a different world.
Yeah, it's a different element, man. Like the what it takes to make the world go. Like there are some jobs, you know, that you pretty much gotta be built to do.
Yeah.
You know, like
You gotta be born a certain way.
you gotta be built and do particular things in this society to make society go, man.
And they can be viewed as insignificant, but that shit is important, man.
That's the irony.
Because if you have somebody pick up their trash, man, you get all types of diseases.
Look,
right.
we can play the significance game. Okay, let's say you're a low value man, you make $400 a week, you're a trash worker.
Yeah.
Let's play the significant game. Let all them go on strike. All right? That's why you go to Dollar General right now, you stay in the South. Half of the shelves, them truck drivers went on strike. Now, let these bitches that's making all this money on what do you call it, fans only.
Yep.
All right, these little escort sites, these strip clubs. Let all them bitches stop working right now. Nothing's gonna change.
You ain't gonna notice.
All these little cute little desk jobs, most of them are insignificant.
Yeah.
All right.
Robots can do it. Alexa finna replace you home, man.
Real quick. And Alexa don't have no babies.
She don't have no attitude.
She got no attitude. She don't got no
Yeah.
period. You know, she's trying to take a vacation.
Motherfucker ain't late.
Nope, never. You know.
Like that movie, They Without Missing. You should see that
Yeah,
movie.
watch this. Let's do it.
Man,
Watch
them motherfuckers, they ain't know what to do.
Yep.
They like, they made them disappear.
Yeah.
Man, they were fucking loud. They're like, they ain't show up today.
Because they don't know how to do that shit.
See?
And
You know, to be honest, man, Edomites are lazy, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know?
they're lazy and they're not.
They sorry.
They sorry. They're not engineers and architects and they're not that. They're not industrial. That's the word. They're not industrial, man.
They just set up to be overseers.
Yep.
Because if you drive by like you drive by any site, like construction, them motherfuckers ain't doing nothing but sitting there. Not
All the
doing it
time.
but down and checking and what they work. It's gonna work.
And then Jake,
Yeah.
Finish it says, "Oh my people, they which lead thee cause thee to earth."
well, there's another scripture that says they have cast nets for my people. We looked up that word nets, and it basically means leaders that they set up to cause us to go off. So Esau, he orchestrated this whole American thing and gave us fabricated fake leaders to lead us into a destructive mindset, man. Tupac is fake. The MLK, Malcolm X was all fake, man. All right, all these fake leaders. Then we had musician leaders, rap leaders, cartel. It was all set up to cause us to be new slaves, to die or be new slaves in the prison industrial complex.
And then it's the woman, you know, that pretty much was drawn. Esau marketed these niggas. The women were drawn to them niggas.
Yep.
All right, and every other man wanted to be those niggas to get those women. So it was all a big trap.
It was tactical.
Yep, it was all a big trap. And then another thing, a narrative that they push was if the Israelite man couldn't move forward without the woman, the nigga woman. You know? But no, that's why when they see the interracial couple, as they say, all right, they really hurt like, damn, this nigga, he done figured it out.
Yep.
He out the box.
You know they say, oh, he gonna have a strong black woman.
Yeah. So,
We
right,
don't want no motherfucker.
I'm not gay, that's why. I'm the only strong motherfucker in this.
They'll say Jake sold out. You know,
Cause you left the nigga paradigm.
you love chaos.
Yep. I know it's an invisible plantation that Esau wants us on.
Yeah.
And when you step outside that nigga box, it's like, oh, this is one part of the program.
there we go.
Yep.
It says, and destroy the way of thy paths.
And the way of our past is destroyed, man.
And the way of our path is rulership.
Yeah.
If you look at it, Esau and Eve is pretty much set up to keep you from a ruling class mentality. You know, that's why they hold resistance, pretty much trying to chastise you. You know, they're trying to be overcritical of everything you do.
And how many Evites, let's just be honest, how many Israelite women do you know that look at you like you're like really somebody?
Ain't gonna happen.
It's like, why? It's no coincidence that all these Israelite women, especially the nigga woman, she has this natural perception of you like you're insignificant.
Yep.
Because she's connected to Esau Edom. Their goal is to physically and mentally oppress you. But as soon as you leave that nigga world, That doesn't exist like that, man.
Well, Jake be leaving the country on these whole
Yeah, man. You know? Cause it's a plantation.
You say on Friday, I got my money. I was gone. Goddamn.
Eve's goal is to reinforce. Eve's goal is to overthrow you in ways that Esau couldn't overthrow you, man. All right? Reinforce his narrative that you're insignificant, man. You know?
I want to see you smile all the time. When you smile, you gotta explain this shit.
I did that to a chick.
Shit.
I saw a chick I ain't seen in a minute, and I was smiling. She was like, "What's funny?"
Yeah.
So why?
You gotta explain this shit. Like, what's the source of this, goddamn, so I can destroy it.
Yeah. I heard.
Can't be happy, bro.
Sorry, I'm happy.
I was dancing one time. I had leaned back on me, goddamn. Yeah, you dancing? Like,
But you get around an Edomite woman, they get it. They be happy too.
Yeah, you work 8 or 9 hours this week, goddamn it. You know, sprain ankle, you drag it. You do one dance move, goddamn it, everything stop. Turn TV down, goddamn.
Well, hey, your woman be like, "What bitch got you happy?"
Yeah, hey, I'll go back to a bitch. Goddamn.
What
Bitch got
got
you
you
dancing and shit.
What's the slut name?
Got it, brother.
My spirit had changed, so I'm gonna drop the other one. This is Sirach chapter 11. That's all you get what you got, bro.
Okay, come on. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse, I started 21, I jumped down. It said, the fear of the Lord goeth before obtaining authority, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof.
Well, this is two great things happening.
Yep.
This is the age of fearing Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're coming back to our power. So that's a sign that rulership is coming afterwards. Because the fear is going to bring obedience.
Yep.
And it tells you that basically that obedience is going to lead to a rulership.
Yep.
But it also says what? Roughness is pride is the beginning of losing it.
Yep.
So the two proud people are Esau and Eve. You know, ultimately other nations, but the main two people are Esau and Eve. So we know that your mindset is a sign that you're about to lose your power.
Yep.
Pride is a sign that you're about to lose your power, man. So the so-called black women, a lot of so-called black women are about to die. All right, and Esau Edom is about to lose his power. Pride going before a fall, man.
Hold on.
Yep.
Hey, Jake like this?
Yeah. Hey, pride, man, it's right.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's nothing sweeter than rulership.
Man, what?
It's nothing sweet. What more could you ask for as a man on earth than rulership?
And then our power is pleased, you know, to put us in power. If we're pleased to do right, you know?
Yeah.
If we're pleased to do right, he's pleased to put us in power. Because that's pretty much all that's required. Because Solomon came to the conclusion, keep the commandments of the Most High. This is the whole duty of man. Like, this is the conclusion. He had, you know, he was a gazillionaire, the women, he did everything, but the conclusion of it was keep the commandments of the Most High. Because it's nothing for him to give us those things. That's light work. You know? He told David, look, if you want another woman, some more women should get ass. You know?
That was light.
Yeah, you ain't commit adultery. You know? So it's like the Most High is pleased to see his sons ruling. You know? But it's just his son, we just had to get our ass whooped, you know, so we can get it. And now, you know, as we getting it, now he's starting to bring this place down and transition us into power, man. Early. Yeah.
Well, since his brother said that. Like Sirach chapter 4, beginning at verse 11. I'll read 11, I'm going to jump down. Wisdom exalteth her sons, and layeth hold of them that seek her.
Hey, it started out with a punch, man.
Yep.
Wisdom exalted her sons. Ultimately, we're going to get exalted into rulership. Our willing is us, man. All right?
He that loveth her loveth life,
Yep.
and they that seek to her early shall be filled with joy.
Yep. Hey, that's why we happy. We got a different Bible in us. We don't need $1 million to be happy. We don't need a new car to be happy. The fact that we know who we are, we in tune with our power, we good. They be like, we good. That's why it's nothing that you could give us and you could take from us, and now we're not happy no more.
Yep.
Well, it don't matter because that's not what made us happy in the first place. Hey, we know who we are. Now we're happy, man. You know?
Jump down to verse 14, we'll read 14, 15. They that serve her shall minister to the Holy One, and them that love her, the Lord doth love.
Yep.
Verse 15. Whoso giveth ear unto her shall judge the nation.
Did you hear that? I like those battle raps. when you say something like a credible punchline, a dude in the back like, did y'all hear that? Can you read that part again?
Whoso giveth ear unto her shall judge the nations.
Whoso give ear unto her shall judge the nations. Woo! Don't you know that King Solomon's prayer request led him to ruling the world? Just give me instruction on how to rule your people.
Wisdom.
Wisdom! That's why when you talk to Esau, Esau gets intimidated when you don't fit into the nigga box.
Yep.
I've noticed that about Esau. This man, his comfort zone is your ignorance.
Yep.
But when you don't, he can't put you in a nigga box. It's like, okay, so what is he?
Yeah.
What's,
Yeah.
you know, what?
Cause they think with Jake gotta be in some form of entertainment.
Yep.
So if it's anything outside of that, you something different.
Yep.
Silly mode.
Silly.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're serious, then and you won't, you didn't fall for the nigga box, then it's like you a threat to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't threat to him because Esau wants to continue to rule. Esau's self-esteem comes from the fact that I'm over these niggas.
And that shows you how weak he is in the mind, because he's intimidated by anyone else that's outside of that. Like I said, he's intimidated by any Jake that's outside of that nigga paradigm.
Yep.
Hey, because us, like, when we get around, men that are sharp in the spirit, man, it's like we sharpen each other up. Like, we bounce off each other. But see, Esau, he wants you dumbed down. Like, nah, man, like that's why our kingdom gonna be so great, because no brother's gonna be covetous, of another brother, his portion he got. No, it's gonna be all about building. It's gonna be it's gonna be wisdom. All right, steady adding to wisdom. You see?
Your gift add to my gift and vice versa.
Yeah, man.
Networking.
Yeah, it's gonna be a thing. See, that's what people sleep on, is wisdom. See, civilizations start off with wisdom. Everything that we see around us is nothing but the evolution of wisdom, because it started from something. Like, even when you go back to the Sumerian Empire, they were the first, like those ziggurats, what they call ziggurats. This is where you get these skyscrapers from. This ain't nothing but modern day ziggurats.
Wow. So this showed this number the repeat of Babylon.
It's nothing but a repeat, because you got like because when you go into civilizations, the thing, they say people were what? Hunter-gatherers first.
Yep.
And then they started farming. All right? The agriculture. And then after this, because they say the reason why civilizations, are able to flourish is when the civilization masters agriculture. Because once you got a system of agriculture, now you free up other people to think. Because you got the food supply chain on lock. So now you got that master. Now you have people that do that, but then you have other people that are thinkers that can learn how to build, can learn how to do 2-story, 3-story, what material to make this to, with their brick and mortar and all these different things. But it starts off with the wisdom of the agriculture, and then it starts off to the buildings, because that's what you would see first. You would see the food supply chain get secured, and then you will see civilizations build up.
Yep.
But it's all going back to wisdom. You see that? That's why Adam had that wisdom. So he probably, his kingdom, was probably. That's why I say the scripture talk about how the devil was envious of.
Yep.
Hey, because he had that wisdom. Like they sinned. That's why he came to Eve with that bullshit, man.
Yep.
Got something for you.
You got it, bro.
Proverbs chapter 8, verse 12.
Yep.
Our wisdom dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions.
Of witty inventions. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
Because what's that in Sirach? The one you always
Sirach
get?
38?
The one about the Smith and
The 30.
Yeah.
yeah. You finished with that, bro?
Yeah. All right, Proverbs chapter 8, verse 12.
Yep.
Our wisdom dwell with prudence
Yep.
and find out knowledge of witty inventions.
See, we ain't seen the inventions yet. You see, people think that what we see now don't get no better than this.
The end all be all.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen the inventions yet. All right, Israel in the kingdom, it's gonna be Israelite men. All right, in their free time. The things we're gonna come up with.
Man, it's,
Then we're gonna have that pure connection to our power, man.
you should know. Hey, but going back to Black Panther, that's why Esau making fun of it so much.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Here you got these niggas, they in
Yeah.
power, they got their own.
Just the thought of that, intimidates that man.
They tapped into an element too.
Yep.
What happened was in the movie, they tapped into one of the elements of the earth.
Yep. And vibrate.
The vibranium, which was fictional, but it has power to it.
Yep.
Because you can't have a superpower without understanding the elements of the earth.
Yep. Yep.
Batteries,
Yep.
you know, copper, electricity. It all goes back to the elements, man. You know? I'm sorry.
You got it.
All right, Sirach 38 and 24.
Yep.
The wisdom of a learned man come by opportunity of leisure.
Opportunity of leisure. Going back to those earlier civilizations, going back to Samaria, then you had the Akkadian civilization dealing with Sargon, then they went into the Babylonian, then you had the Egypt, all right, and then on down to what we have today. You see, but that whole Mesopotamian region, like when you go into it, once they mastered, how to cultivate the land with crops, that's when empires started being formed, man. Go ahead.
And he that hath little business shall become wise.
A little business, because if you spending your whole existence hunting and gathering or doing agriculture, it's pretty much all you can do. But see, once they secured their civilization, then they freed up the thinkers to start learning how to build architecture, man.
And that's why Esau has it set up to where the average Israelite, he works for a paycheck.
Yep.
They're systematically designed so you never build anything.
Yep. Hey, because you got to think like the average Israelite man, all right, he works these, this low-grade job, then you go from this job, all right, to a woman that hates you, all right. Kids don't respect you because they see how the mama talk to you. So they're like that. That's almost like the average, Israelite man day. So he can't be productive. Like he's not inspired. He goes his whole life, first, then you got his mama cussing him out for, to where he can from what he can understand to kindergarten, 12th grade. Well, what that what mama say?